Morning, everyone. This is for section P4, the second part. First thing I'm going to do is remind you guys how to solve by factoring. So we've been looking at factoring lately, so just remember to solve by factoring. First thing you have to do is obviously factor it. You're going to undo, FOIL. So the first thing you focus on is the first things. These two things have to multiply together to give you 2x squared, so you got a 2x and x. Forget about the O and the I for the time being, or hold off on working with them. Look at the last things. Things that multiply to 12. Usually what you want to do is pick the numbers that are similar in size as your first guess. So I'm going to stick 3 and 4. They're multiplying to positive, adding to negative, so they're both negative. Now check the O and the I. So there's minus 8x, minus 3x, gives you the minus 11x. So we factored it correctly. So you've got 2x minus 3 and x minus 4 equals 0. Okay? Solving by factoring, you're solving it. This is the zero product property. Something times something equals 0. One or both of those have to be worth 0. So you set them equal to 0. This one's easy enough. X is equal to 4. Add the 3, divide by 2. There's your two zeros. Okay? Solving by extracting the root. You could expand it and get 9x squared minus 12x plus 4 is equal to 28. Pull the 28 over, say do the quadratic formula or try factoring it, but this is more work than it's worth. You want to solve for x. This created two x's, one squared, one's not. If you were to just square root both sides, that cancels the square out. Oops, I don't know why I wrote a 2. 3x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 28. Remember, 28 you have to reduce because it's in a root. So you have 2 and 14, 2 and 7, so you have 4 times 7. Square root of 4 is 2, so you have 3x minus 2 is equal to plus or minus 2 root 7. Add the 2. Divide by 3, and you're finished. Okay? So this would be your answer. So that's called extracting the root. Don't expand it, just square root both sides. If you had something else outside, I don't know, 7, 3x minus 2 squared plus 5 is equal to 72. Then you have to subtract the 5 first, divide out the 7, then you can take the square root. Okay, so remember, stuff outside the roots has to be gotten rid of, or outside the parentheses has to be gotten rid of first. We've been practicing by completing the squares. So this is solving by completing the square. I'm not suggesting this is going to be the easiest method for you to use, but it's still a method to just review. So you've got 2. You have to factor the 2 out of the first two terms. You have to take half of that. So 11 halves times a half is 11 fourths. Then you have to square this. So that's 121 sixteenths. So I'm going to add 121 sixteenths. I'm going to subtract 121 sixteenths times 2 plus 12. Okay, so you have 2. Now this will collapse back. Take half the middle. Sorry, that closed. Squared. Now, this is going to reduce to give you 8. So negative 121 over 8 plus 12, I think is negative 25/8. Let me type it in the calculator. Okay, hold on. Minus 121 divided by 8 plus 12. Yes, minus 25/8. Okay. I don't want to make a mistake at this point because then it screws everything else up. Equals 0. Now, like I mentioned on this one over here, in order to extract the root, I first have to get rid of the 5, the 7, then take the square root to get rid of the square. Same deal here. So I need to add the 25/8 to the other side. Get rid of multiplying by 2, which means multiply both sides by half. I guess I'll just keep going vertical. So I have x minus 11 fourths squared, sorry, it closed again, equals 25 sixteenths. I need to square root both sides. Don't forget, when you put an even root on the page, a plus or minus is going to show up. So 25, oops, square root of 25. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting this. Square root of 25, square root of 16. So I have 5 fourths. Oops, plus or minus. Then you need to add the 11 fourths over. So you have 11 fourths plus or minus 5 fourths. So that's 11 plus or minus 5 over 4. So 11 plus 5 is 16 over 4, which is 4. And 11 minus 5 is 6 fourths, which is 3 halves. Which, if you jump back a couple screens, there they are right there. It was the same question. You just did this one by factoring, whereas this one we did by completing the square. Okay, you got the same answers. Okay. Stop using the quadratic formula. So remember, the quadratic formula is the opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over twice a. So this is your a, woo, b, and c. Alright, so the opposite of b is 11 plus or minus square root of, and remember this has to go in parens before you square it, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a, which is 4. So x is equal to 11 plus or minus, and I'm betting that's going to be 25 over 4. Keep myself honest, let me check it. So a negative 11 in parentheses squared minus 4 times 2 times 12. Sure indeed it is. So then that's going to simplify to 11 plus or minus, whoops, the square root's gone because the square root of 25 is 5. Apologize for that mistake. And then it's just like what we did on the other side. 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 over 4 is 4. 11 minus 5 is 6 over 4, which is 3 halves. So again, you got the same set of answers because it was the same question, just using it to remind you guys how to do the different processes. So what you guys did is you extracted the root, you used the quadratic formula, you factored, all to find zeros. Okay, well, who spelled that? Good gravy. Whew. Right, thanks for your time. Come on, pop up. There we go.